On Monday, June 10th, 2024, Apple unveiled the future of their software at WWDC, their worldwide developers conference. And yes, it was action-packed. They talked about tvOS, iOS, iPadOS, and all of their operating systems, including macOS and VisionOS. We're going to go through all of the incredible details that were released in these future operating systems in this video. So let's check them out. From WWDC 2024, let's start with the biggest announcement of the show, Apple Intelligence. They actually saved Apple Intelligence for the very end, and they didn't mention AI a lot during the presentation, but sure enough, when it got down to the second hour of the presentation, they introduced their own version of AI called Apple Intelligence, which is incredible. You can use their write tools to intelligently tone your writing, whether you want it to be more friendly or professional, or if you just want to proofread your documentation that you're creating or your email that you're writing, you can go ahead and do that using their new writing tools with Apple Intelligence. Writing tools are available across platform between iOS, iPadOS, and macOS, and Apple Intelligence is actually coming out later this year in the fall, so it's not currently available in any of the beta software, and apparently there may be a wait list to even get access to it. So while they did announce these incredible cool features, they're not available for developers or users to currently use at the moment. So that's Apple Intelligence with the writing software with writing tools, enabling you to use incredible AI assistant programs to modify your writing and to enhance your language capabilities. So this is what it looks like. You can see here that you can proofread, rewrite, you can tone it down from friendly to professional to concise, you can get a summary, you can do key points, you can make a table or list. You can come over here, you can get a priority notifications. I mean, when you wake up in the morning and you have 30 different notifications on your phone, it will identify the ones that are most important, that are time-based, and it will let you know which ones you probably should respond to right away. And it puts those at the very top of your list. And I get this all the time. Maybe there's a Slack message with a an urgent request, and it may be at the very bottom of my notification list. Well, with priority notifications, it's going to let you know, and it's going to summarize that notification for you. So if we zoom in here, you can see instead of it showing this message, it just has a little summary of it. Summer interns arrive, meeting at 10:30. So it uses AI to just summarize what, it could be a long paragraph, but it will just give you a 1 sentence or 2 sentence summary of what that message was. So really cool features that they've added to the AI suite there. You've got priority messages in Mail. So now when you're opening up Mail, you'll see the most important ones right away. They've redesigned the categories at the top here so you can have primary, shopping, announcements and notifications at the top there. You can get a summary of a long email at the very top just by scrolling up to the top, and you can see what exactly that email consisted of. You can now get note summaries and phone call summaries. So whether you're in the Notes app, writing down a long article, or whether you're taking a podcast on the phone or talking on the phone and you want to remember that conversation, you can hit the record button and have complete access to that content, as it also transcribes notes and audio recordings for you. It's a really cool software that they have here. Another cool thing is you can reduce interruptions. This is a really neat feature. If you may need to be notified for an urgent need, but you don't know that need's coming in, it can use AI to detect that it's urgent, and then it will let you know. So you can just put your phone on a new silent mode called reduce interruptions, and it's not going to ping you for the news broadcast or the normal notifications that come in. But if it detects that there's something that you need to know in an urgent sense, it labels it as maybe important and it lets you know. So really cool software that they've embedded there. Smart Reply lets you respond to drafts very quickly. If certain people ask you questions in an email, you can use Smart Reply to answer them just by selecting your answer. And then it will draft that email for you and allow you to send it off. So some really cool writing, focus, and communication tools that they've got baked right there into Apple Intelligence for all the writing tools that are really cool. So, but the best part about this is it's not just writing, it's also images. You can come down to Apple Intelligence and you can create images. They've made many ways of how it uses Genmoji, their automatic generative AI emoji generator. You can write in a prompt and it will just generate that emoji for you. You can create expressive images. You can create memories. You've got suggestions right here at the very bottom. So mountains, beach, winter, baseball cap, love, and crown. You can just write a prompt and it will just start using the AI software to generate an emoji for you or an image for you. You can circle a sketch in your notes and it will allow you to turn that sketch into a generative AI image just by circling it there. So they've got all types of different ways you can use this technology. They created a dedicated app called Image Playground, which allows you to, come into the Image Playground, play with the prompts, and generate as much fun emojis, or Genmojis as they call it, as you need. So really cool software that they've embedded right here into Apple Intelligence to allow you to come in. So the image one I was talking about earlier, you can just circle a rough sketch and it will automatically use generative AI to turn that sketch into a related image in the Notes app. You can create memory movies. You can just write a prompt and it will just go ahead to work there and have a whole custom narrative that you've described within that prompt. So a really cool feature that they've embedded there. You can search for photos and videos and even the content that's actually in a long form video. So you can search for something and find that particular moment and it'll take you right to it. It's a really cool software that they've created. And similarly that you can do on a Google Pixel, you can now remove distractions. They call it cleanup. You just circle the person in the background that was in that photo and it automatically erases it for you. So really cool features that they've baked right in for images for Apple Intelligence. Now, we've talked about text, we've talked about writing, we've talked about images. Let's talk about Siri. Siri is getting a brand new update, and it's mainly available for the latest iPhone using the A17 Bionic processor, and available on Macs that are using M1 chips and later. So your M2 and M3 and M4s are good to go. Siri is really impressive because now it has personal context. It has this new design. They've eliminated the glowing orb or ball that used to come. And now the entire border of your phone lights up when you activate Siri. You can type to Siri just by double tapping the bottom bar of the pull up to go to home area. And then you can type to Siri, Siri can respond to you. She has extensive knowledge of the iPhone and the operating system itself. If you need help doing something, it can tell you. You literally just ask Siri and it's going to go to the iPhone user guide and tell you exactly how to do that. You can go over here and use natural language. It understands when you make mistakes or if you say the wrong thing, you can just correct yourself and Siri will no longer be like, sorry, can you say that again? Or, it's not going to give you a response to a mistake anymore because it will be able to use natural language to understand what you were talking about. Just as if you were saying to someone, hey, actually make that 5 instead of 10, they would know because they have previous context. Siri now has previous context, which is really cool. You've got on-screen awareness. So if you ask something with Siri and Apple Intelligence, it will know what's on your screen and it will be able to take care of things for you. So that's a really cool feature they've embedded. And then that personal context works across multiple apps. Even app developers are going to be able to integrate their app intents and their Siri activations onto their apps. And you'll be able to, ask for a command and it work across multiple various different apps. So really cool software that they've created for Apple Intelligence to work across your iPhone and your Mac using writing tools, images, and Siri. And the best part about all of this is it protects your privacy while you're doing it. So what you do on your iPhone typically needs to stay on your iPhone. For certain AI requests, they do push it off to a private cloud compute server where that data is not permanently stored, and then it's also securely done on Apple Silicon, and they ship it back to your iPhone, and you get to maintain your privacy while using the Apple Intelligence features. And then for things that Apple Intelligence cannot take care of, they ask ChatGPT, and they actually ask you before you use ChatGPT. If there's a command that the Apple intelligence models are not aware of, then you can a prompt will pop up, and it will ask you, do you want to ask ChatGPT or use ChatGPT for this? And of course, also with the writing tools, you can get more suggestions with ChatGPT. So you can integrate ChatGPT into all of the operating systems here. We've got it into everything except like VisionOS and iOS, or no, VisionOS and tvOS, but it's in iOS, it's in iPadOS, and it's in macOS. So really cool software capabilities with Apple Intelligence, and the SDK is going to empower a lot of developers to take advantage of the latest Apple Intelligence platform that they've created using AI and allowing it to come to everyone. They made some really incredible updates to the home and TV interface. Of course, with tvOS, we have a brand new feature called Insight. Insight allows you, when you're watching Apple Originals, it's very similar to X-Ray or Amazon's version of this. When you watch Amazon Prime videos, you can just swipe down on the remote and see who the actor is on screen. You can see what music is currently being played in that current TV episode or movie. You can even see what their character name is and learn more about them. So that's a really cool feature they've baked right into tvOS. They've got also, an incredible entertainment level here. It's got support for now 21:9 projectors. So you can come in, you can hook that up to a nice, 21:9 projector and watch the movie as if it was, designed for the movie theater or by the director. So really cool additions to that. They've got these stunning new screensavers, including Snoopy, that come with tvOS 18. And a lot of cool new features. You can customize access for guest schedules in the Home app now, and you can learn more about the electricity that's being used in your Home app, which is really exciting. So they've added a ton of cool features. They even have vacuum cleaners now going to be added to the Home app, along with AirPlay and spatial audio for Dolby Atmos and more compatibilities with third-party home equipment. So tvOS got the lightest airtime out of all of this. I think the most airtime we got was really Apple Intelligence, but that's sprinkled across all devices. Let's take a look at iOS 18. Of course, as soon as we learn about iOS 18, we learn how Apple Intelligence is coming to it. Everything we saw on the Apple Intelligence page is coming to the iPhone. So you can, use the image generation to create Genmoji on your iPhone and send that within Messages. You can use the writing tools to perfect your Pages document. But the biggest update to the iOS platform is now the home screen. You can modify the home screen. You can put apps anywhere that you want. It's no longer stuck to a grid format, which is really impressive. They now have support for dark mode icons, which is really cool. Dark mode icons, typically, you just turn it on when you edit your home screen, and the developer will have to make a light mode icon and a dark mode icon, but they're really cool. So you can move the apps anywhere that you want to. You can also tint it with a color. So you'll see the colors right here. It has a tint red to it. This is light mode, and then this looks like it has a tint yellow. So multiple options there for your customization. The iPhone now looks very similar to customizing an Android. You can put the app anywhere on the home screen, and you can change the tint color, and you can have dark mode icons. So really cool, awesome stuff that they've added for app icons and widgets. This is what that dark mode interface looks like. You can have it switch from automatic dark or light depending on the sunrise or sunset, or you can have a set tinted one. So you can also increase the size of the icons and get rid of the names at the very bottom of them. So really cool. You can now lock and hide apps. So now there's a hidden folder in the app library, and you can hide apps completely and they won't show up in Spotlight or other apps. And that's a really cool way to protect your privacy, so you can keep your favorite apps that you want to be solely on your eyes only hidden or locked behind Face ID. Control Center got a massive update. You can now swipe between pages on Control Center. You can see the Home app, the Music app, and the wireless controls get their own pages. And you can even customize them with the controls gallery. You can make certain ones big, certain ones longer. So that's really cool. You can swap out the different controls. Photos got a massive update. This is the biggest redesign ever, and it focuses more a little bit on AI, where it lets you know you can create different scenes for your movies. You can create different movies on your Photos app with AI prompts. You can come over here. You can see recent days, peoples, and pets, and scroll across all of the content in the Photos library. So this is a drastic change, and I'm sure it's going to continue to change throughout the iOS 18 beta process. So messages, we got some new ways to play with text. You can come over to messages and you can have new text effects. You can see the blown away effects or the major effect that they have here. You can tap back with any emoji or sticker now. They redesigned what the tap backs look like. They made them a bit more playfully looking, and you can add emojis and stickers to it now. And now you can send messages. You can send messages via satellite. This used to be reserved to only SOS messages, but now when you don't have Wi-Fi or cellular, you can send an iMessage through, or an iMessage or text message through cellular to get that message off the ground. You can send a message later, so if you want to not forget about that birthday message, you can automatically send it tomorrow at 10 a.m., just like they do in this message. And then support for RCS, Rich Communication Services, is coming. So Mail has got us sorted with categorization here. We can see what we need to know about most because we can only see the primary messages. They've grouped messages together, so if you need to find all those flight details, you're good to go there. Safari got new features like highlights, which detects relevant information on pages as you browse. And then you got a smarter redesigned reader. So if you want to read something, you can put it in the reader mode and see what it looks like. They made a whole dedicated passwords app, which works across all their platforms, even Windows. So this is very similar to how things were stored in Keychain or in the passwords section of settings, but now it's embedded into its very own application and works across all Apple devices and Windows. You've got maps where they added things for hiking, which is really cool. So topographic maps and trail networks, and you can save them for offline access and do custom walks and hiking routes. Game mode, they updated game mode so you can have the best performance possible. You can even control AirPods, put in AirPods in your game controller, and it makes it a bit faster and responsive. Now with Wallet, you can tap to pay and you don't have to exchange an email or a phone number for sensitive information. You just see their name and that's all you need. So really cool updates that they have. They've made event tickets and new guides. So now when you open up your ticket, you can see what that event space looks like. You can nod to reject a phone call with your AirPods or shake yes to answer it. So really cool hands-free Siri interactions. They got voice isolation to make it easier for your other person on the line to hear you in noisy situations when you're using your AirPods. And then they introduced personalized spatial audio for gaming. Notes, we have live audio transcription for notes. You can crunch numbers right in it and use variables and math notes within it. You've got collapsible sections within notes. You can make text stand out in colors. They finally added a search feature to the journal app, and you can review previous journal entries, which is really handy. You can now journal for your well-being and say how you feel right now. You can track your goals and streaks in a whole calendar, so really cool feature there. You can sort and search past entries and add widgets for prompts to continue writing and make streaks. So the Apple TV app has a new way to watch Apple original content. You can swipe down and see the insight information that you saw on the tvOS, which is really cool. You can see the actors and the music that's being played, and you get enhanced dialogue. The Home app introduces a new customization access for temporary access for guests to have things alongside your doors or your garage systems or anything that is in the Home app itself. You've got hands-free unlock, magically unlock your doors as you approach simply by carrying an iPhone in a bag or wearing an Apple Watch. And you've got robot vacuum cleaner support. We talked about that. That's coming later this year. You'll be able to ask Siri to clean the floors, and you can view your home electricity use. So really cool, awesome technology that they have here. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this energy helps out too. So privacy and security. You can now control when an app asks you for contacts. You can select which contacts that app gets permission to see. And you can check out the new redesigned privacy and security section in settings. You can pair accessories just like you pair iPhone or Apple gadgets. Like when you connect your new AirPods or Beats and the whole new module comes up like this, you can now, other app developers have access to pair different devices like this, which is really cool. So just a one tap there to get started on your pairing process. I think that's really cool, and it keeps it private instead of having to give them access to all Bluetooth features and more. So that is iOS 18, and it's really jam-packed, and of course the Apple Intelligence is the star of the show. Let's check out iPadOS 18. iPadOS 18 also got all the features from Apple Intelligence, but they introduced a calculator. And the calculator has an incredible feature called Math Notes, which allows you to just document your notes and then write equations down, and it solves them for you. It's really cool. So Math Notes is a cool feature for iPadOS 18, and it makes it really interesting. I'm curious if they'll integrate this with ChatGPT to allow tutoring within the app too. But as soon as you write down an equation, here it is, the calculator, Math Notes with the Apple Pencil. You just write down an equation. You can add variables, and you can just write down the math, and then everything in yellow here is the answer. So this 12.5, it just solves it for you as soon as you write down the equation. Really cool that they've integrated that. I think that was the biggest iPadOS 18 update. A lot of us thought coming into this that Apple would allow the iPadOS to be more like a Mac, but they kept it very much like an iPad. It is nowhere near a total Mac replacement. But they added Apple Intelligence to it. They allowed you to come here. SmartScript is really cool. It makes your handwriting a bit more neater. You've got live audio transcription. You can, of course, use the Math Notes as we're talking about. All the customization features that were on the iOS side for the home screen came to the iPad. And you can lock Face ID apps and more. So big update to Control Center that came to iPadOS 2. The Photos app looks even better on a bigger screen. And then messages, everything that was on iOS essentially came to the iPadOS 2. And then passwords, SharePlay. This is new. You can draw on someone's screen during SharePlay now, and you can even control their iPad if you need to help with tech support or do something remotely. So really cool software updates here on the iPad. Let's check out macOS Sequoia. So the newest update here, I think the biggest thing is Sequoia, aside from Apple Intelligence, is using your iPhone on the Mac, using continuity. Your iPhone remains locked, and you can just open up the iPhone mirroring app and use your phone on the Mac and use multi-touch on your trackpad to even, do gestures. You can even drag stuff to your iPhone. If you make a design in Photoshop, you can drag it over to Instagram and share it to your iPhone. Really cool features. The iPhone notifications now sync right to your Mac, so you can, when you click on them, they open up right inside of the iPhone mirroring app. So this is really cool. I know a lot of us wanted the iPad to be more like a Mac, but they put the iPhone on the Mac instead. But this is still a really cool feature in that you can drag and drop between each device. Productivity. This is a big one. No more installing third-party tools to get window tiling, because now it's built into the operating system. You just drag that window to the corner, or you use a command and a shortcut, and it snaps it into a grid, and you are good to go. If this could come to iPad, I think we would be really, it would solve all multitasking issues. But this is now baked into macOS Sequoia, and it's really cool. You can now add a background in your Zoom call using the built-in macOS camera module there. You just click on it and select background. So Safari got some updates like highlights in the redesigned reader and more control over web video. The password app, of course, comes to the Mac. Gaming, they got updates there with Metal 3 and taking full advantage of Apple Silicon. All the messages apps or updates that we saw in iOS and the macOS or iOS and the iPadOS come to macOS, and we can express ourselves with the new tapbacks and more. So the rest of the features here we've seen in the previous OSs. They all are sharing the continuity between the features, so that's good to see. So last but not least, we've got actually two more operating systems, WatchOS and VisionOS. So WatchOS got a really cool update. You can now pause your activity rings if you need to, if you're going through an injury or you need to take a vacation or you need to take a break, or you can just go ahead and pause your rings and they will resume later, and it doesn't affect your streak, which is really handy. You can get a better summary. You can change this design of the summary and see which things matter to you the most. You can see your vitals. You can get an update there on your Apple Watch. And they introduced a new thing called training load, which can detect whether you had a very easy workout or a high intense workout and how well you're training over time. And you can track that effort and know if you're under training or overdoing. And then you've got photo faces where you can add photos, and it uses machine learning to search through your photo library and then put the time behind that photo. It's a really cool software that they've got there. You can just make it yours and filter out the photos that you want. You've got cycle tracking to focus on pregnancy, and of course it keeps that private. And then you've got Smart Stack with live widgets and live activities coming to the Apple Watch. So just like they came on the iOS last year, now they're coming to the Smart Stack in the Apple Watch. And then widgets will automatically show up. Like, this is an important one. I want to know that it's going to rain before it rains, but now with the Smart Stack, it will let us know that it's going to rain tomorrow. It's a really cool feature. You've got check-in even during workouts. So if you go out for a late night run, you can use check-in to make sure that you are letting your family know that you're good to go. And you've got enhanced GPS positioning, custom workouts for polls, and translate. This is a really cool feature. You can translate on your Apple Watch now. So now developers can tap into double tap and allow you to make actions there. So that's WatchOS 11. Really cool updates to that. I'm most excited about the pausing activity rings. Next up, let's check out VisionOS 2. VisionOS 2 talks about a lot of refinements. You can now use machine learning to take normal photos and turn them into spatial photos. So 2D images can be turned into spatial photos using machine learning and AI. Really cool. You can share play for photos. So now you and another Apple Vision Pro user can check out photos together in share play. And they redesigned the Photos app in Vision Pro. You can trim any video, and you can edit spatial videos with Final Cut. They even partnered with Blackmagic and Canon to introduce spatial filming cameras. So now you can edit those in DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut and produce them and watch them in Vision Pro. You've got new gestures to Access Control Center. This was a big one because looking up to Access Control Center was very tiring and hard to do, but now you can just twist over your hand and tap, and now you're good to go. You can customize your home view. That's a very big one. And this is a massive update. You can now have a bigger display, a panoramic display with the Mac. I thought they were going to add multiple monitors, like monitor 1, 2, and 3, but they just added one giant, enormous panoramic productivity display. And I hope that their new tiling supports like all three regions of the display. We'll see how that works. But I use my Apple Vision Pro primarily for the Mac display and cannot wait to have a bigger real estate. So that's a really cool feature. You've got new environments, so this new Bora Bora environment. You can see your keyboard in any environment, which is pretty handy. And you can watch videos, and it gets a bit more cinematic in any environment when you're in Safari. You can let friends try with a guest user. This is pretty impressive because before we had kind of like a guest mode, but now it lets us save your most recent guest eye and hand data so they can skip the next step and get right back into their experience. So it saves time with having to reset up the device. And you can catch multiple games on the Apple TV app. You've got persona enhancements, big improvements there, and you can dictate and look to dictate in messages. You can use AirPlay to mirror the Apple Vision Pro. So now theoretically you can have your own iPad in Apple Vision Pro because Apple Vision Pro acts as an AirPlay receiver now. And you can use it on trains. So you could use it on planes before, but I'm curious what travel mode, how the train support works. I could not imagine using this on the BART or on the Amtrak, but you can if you would like. So that's all that's there for VisionOS 2. Very minor update, nothing too crazy, but I am looking forward to the larger panoramic display for Mac Virtual Display. WatchOS, I'm looking forward to our activity rings and being able to keep a streak while also maintaining personal rest days. Sequoia, I'm looking for Apple Intelligence. iPadOS, I'm excited about Math Notes. iOS, I'm excited about everything with iOS. The fact that we have a lot more customization now is really key. The dark mode icons right now are my favorite. So I'm looking at my home screen every day. I unlock it and I see dark mode icons, and I think that's pretty sick. So HomeOS Insight's my favorite feature. And of course, with Apple Intelligence, the fact that it keeps it private while also being able to tap into ChatGPT if needed is really key. So you can even connect your ChatGPT account to it. So that's an overview there of the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference 2024. Let us know what your favorite feature of the WWDC 2024 in the comments below is, and if you're not subscribed, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to figure out when we release our next technology video. We love producing these for you and can't wait to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.